It was a sellout, it was a coup, and it happened right before me and you. We threw stones onto the ship that sank, because we'd rather bail out the banks. In a cruel twist, we never raised our fists. We complained and tightened our belts, never noticing the welts. They layered us with taxes, but we the foolish masses have accepted just to suffer. Immigrating sisters and brothers, separate the family at its core, and send them off to foreign shores. They expect us to go with no noise, with no youth to raise their voice. As they fill their corporate coffers, they know we've got more to offer. For once they've taken away our wealth, they will attack us and our health. Cutbacks on healthcare and nurses, while we're told to tighten up our purses. Waiting days in A&E, they know they have us on our knees. No integrity for the dying, while we swallow the shit they are plying down our throats. With ne'er a question nor a shout, we let Enda stroll in and sell us out. Then next out the door is education and benefits for the poor. As if this was not enough, they'll take your roof and all your stuff. But the greed does not end there. They won't stop until they tax your air. You think that I'm joking, but these career politicians are merely stoking a fire that lay sleeping as they went on creeping around our soil, our food, our water. For who will stop them with no sons or daughters left to stand for human rights, to raise up and to give fight? In the States, they took the farms, installed GMOs promising no harm. Meanwhile, they patented the seeds, and their almighty greed made it near impossible for us to feed without chemical pollution, telling us this is the solution. Well, Soylent Green was made of people, and I don't care how high the steeple, I could no longer accept the goods they're selling. Time to raise our voices and start yelling, raise it up into a shout, while Enda strolls in and sells us out. No more, no more. They claim water doesn't fall from the sky so blue, and in a sense it's true. It must be captured, clean, and filtered, but not for private investment to then pilfer. We've access to a resource all the world needs, 6 out of 7 days a week, and that's in a dry year over in the West, where it's more like 364 days at best. We get the one dry day on leap years, but Irish water won't be satisfied, so they tax us for our tears. Well, not mine, not yours. With the wolves at our doors, we have finally said no more. Let's stand together and let's act. Let's rise up and take it back. Let's clean it, treat it. There's money to be made off it. Imagine that. It's raining profits. But not for a private company, but actual euros for you and me, the taxpayer who has had enough of the lies they're feeding. Time to give the garden a good weeding. It's jail time for the guilty all. FINA failed. Let's make FINA fall. They've been poisoning us for years. Stupid Patty. All he cares about is beer. Well, this is a nation that has awoken to find our bankers joking about how they will defraud the Irish, keep them under the thumb. Well, David, can you now hear the drum, accompanied by the bell which calls to extradite? It will be your head on Dublin's spike. And we are tightening our bows for you too, John. You will be right beside David before too long. And all your cronies at Anglo-Irish Bank who laughed as the ship sank. You don't think we could see the scope of your deception, and perhaps we couldn't then, but we see the enormity of it now, and how you sidled up to Brian Cowan. Your secret group of 10 men will face their day inside the pen, for we are not stopping at just the water. We want an Ireland for our sons and for our daughters. Do we not owe it to our predecessors who rose and cast out their English oppressors? But were we ever truly free when we accept the displacement of family? For an Ireland ununited is easier divided, just as a family torn apart is easier to hurt. Our first ideas of a government assembly is found in the makeup of the family, where we learn to look out for one another with guidance from our fathers and mothers. We learn wrong from right, when to listen and when to fight. And this extends to the community around. Learn, live, love, and be sound. And what do we find when we see the structures of this kind? More respect for one and all. But who now will heed the call? Are the rebel philosophers all gone? or have they fled with the Irish sun? Even our own poet-thinker Michael D. has signed his name to the treaty to privatize another of our resources. For we are only fools and horses who can't govern without Germany's help. Sure, we don't deserve the wealth. Let's give it to the companies who seek and strive to manage every bit of our lives, right down to the water and food for our consumption. Where do they get the gumption to tell us who we can marry and what we keep our own? Our lives are inspected as they listen down our phones and track our every move on the net. They'll call it a conspiracy theory, I bet, though it is only a theory until we discover that it's fact. And by then, there is no turning back. With every concession we sign away more of our rights. Well, I say no more, it's time to fight. But this time, not with violence at all, but with arms up and open palms.